The latest person on the continent to force herself on her people is Samia Hassan. There's a lot of chaos going on in Africa that we can't even keep up with the news anymore. We are not even done talking about Paul Biya. We have not even started on Sudan, and Tanzania has entered the chat room. You know, it looks like there's a trend that is going on the continent, that when it's time for an election, they turn off the lights or the internet, there's chaos, and then someone is declared winner. And these African leaders, it looks like they are talking to each other and learning from each other. But I'm here to let you know that the resistance that is coming out of the youth is far greater than whatever plan these leaders have for the youth of Africa. Because whether they like it or not, Africa is rising and Africa will rise. Now, this woman, Samia Hassan, that has forced herself on her people, she's the latest, I won't call her a leader, she's the latest by force president on the people of Tanzania. This has been a bloodbath because over 700 people have been reported to have died of protesters, even though they came out to say that these are not Tanzanians. Well, we have the internet and they have put out the videos in the language, and they have put out the video and let us know that this is what is going on in Tanzania. What she did was she unleashed the police, she unleashed the military on her own people. How do you get to a place in life where you don't humanize someone that looks like you? You know, I can understand in the West when Oyibo people treat us like this. But when our own people look at us like this, we have to understand human psychology and how you can dehumanize someone who looks like you, someone who is from your home country, someone who can be your son. I remember one time Obama made a speech and he talked about Trayvon Martin, when Trayvon Martin had been killed, and he said, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon. In your case, these are your people. These are the people that you eat and you drink with. So how do you look on and kill your own people? That I would never understand.
So the bloodbath started on the 29th, but in return, the protesting, especially the youth, got so angry that they started attacking symbols of authority. So for them, the symbols of authority included police stations, of course, because they assumed that was the police. They went for CCM buildings because that was also another symbol of authorities. They went for businesses of people that they perceived were enablers or perpetrators of any form of oppression. So in that sense, this rage that people are trying to bring about the infrastructure was not because the youth came out with the intention, but that because they were being shot. They are covering up, they're busy as we speak, covering up hundreds of bodies. They went into houses, they murdered people. This is something that we hear has happened in Rwanda, in Congo. This is not normal. And unfortunately, Samia Suluhu is trying to cover up. This is a coup d'etat. She has taken power without the will of the people. She's sworn herself in secrecy on a military base. So tell me, how is that different from somebody who takes power with an army through coup d'etat? It's not different. And therefore, I think the world has to stop sanitizing whatever happened. This was a coup d'etat, this was a massacre, and there was no election. She's an illegitimate president. And if we do not immediately wake up to this, the anger on the ground is big. People are waking up, they're sharing images, and people are angry. But most of all, what is being fueled is Samia Suluhu and her murderous cabal are not acknowledging the death.
So as the streets mourn in Tanzania, I mean, it's just been 4 days. This happened, this started on, I think, on the 29th. It's just been 4 days, over 700 people have died. And as the streets were mourning and people continued to protest, I'm so proud of the people of Tanzania. As they continue to protest, this woman at her big age, showing no empathy for her people, no regard for what was going on, for humans' lives lost, had the nerve to have a private inauguration in a military base. This woman is not right in their mind. She had the nerve to go and have an inauguration when this is what is happening in the streets. European Union have put out a statement. Now, we know that we cannot trust European Union, but for European Union to come out and put out a statement, then you also, you have to realize that you are in trouble. the opposition leaders have put some petitions online to be able to take this to the ICC. But what I want to talk about is that where is the African Union? The African Union that is supposed to be a place of defense for the youth in Africa. Where is the African Union? What do they want to see to be able to step up to talk for their own people? All these things show that the African Union, they are a fraternity and they don't care about black children. Let me repeat it. The African Union is a fraternity and they don't care about black children. And this is very, very sad. The black child, including the African Union, their children, they shouldn't forget that what they do to us will come to them. What they do to our children will come right back to them. And the African child, including the presidents, their children, the African child has no allies. The African child has no allies. The reason why I go on African Union is that a lot of the news that we've seen is coming from foreign news outlets. Obviously, maybe they don't have any benefits from Tanzania, so they'll be quick to write. What is happening in Sudan, the West are very quiet about it. There are a lot of things that are happening in Africa that they are very quiet about it. And the leaders that are fighting for their people, they are finding ways to attack them. So evidently, they obviously might not be getting much from Tanzania, so they can put out the news. But with that aside, African Union, where is your news? Why are you not calling out these people, this woman, and what she has done? Why didn't you call Paul Biya? But you guys were the first to congratulate her. Then you have the puppets. We'll come to them, the Museveni and Ruto, we'll come to them on the next video. But you guys were the first people that congratulated her. You are telling us a lot. African Union is telling the African child a lot. African Union is telling us that they don't care for our life. African Union is telling us that they do not work for the African child. African Union is telling us that fight your own fight and let me stuff my pockets. That is what African Union is telling us. So they should take the word African from that. They should call themselves Union of Presidents. We are not interested in African Union. My people, do you know that African Union, I made a video the last time, they are making strides. They just announced that they are going to have a one airspace. We'll talk about that later. But you are so tone deaf if you cannot talk about human life. You are so tone deaf. African Union. And you know what? We have to dissolve African Union. It has to be something else. It cannot be African Union. I suggest there are few presidents that are serious on the continent. Those presidents should come together with the Sahel and form their own union. This is not it. And Museveni, who is getting ready to do that to his Ugandan people, you guys have given him more vim. Don't you realize that when you support hate, it comes right back at you? And not just Tanzanian youth that are fighting. I've seen that they've got a lot of support from Kenya. Kenyan youth are speaking up for them, and I'm so proud of Africans. You know, we are getting to this point where we are starting to see each other, but whatever is going on at the borders affects us. For instance, when the internet was shut down in Tanzania, it affected Kenya. People's businesses that they were bringing in, the computers and stuff was not working, so they were not able to deliver their stuff. So everything that happens on the continent, we are connected. And those of us that are in West Africa, this is not far from us. Sudan is not far from us. Tanzania is not far from us. It's a matter of trekking. So we need to focus on what is going on and fish all these bad leaders out. As Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This should be food for thought. Freedom is not given, it is taken. Tanzania youth, we see you. But everything that is happening on the continent, every black person must pay attention and watch what is going on. Share the content, and the Tanzanian youth need to know that they have our support and we can see them and we are standing with them. Yes, many lives have been lost, and know that something will come out of this. This woman is not going to go scot-free. I'm telling you, I can tell you this for free. A time comes when you are stripped of the power. Nobody. Go and ask what happened in Ghana elections. Go and ask the people that were in power that they were bullying. Some of them are sitting in jail as we speak. So don't be disheartened. because there was a time that some of us were going through some of these things. We didn't go through to this extent. Anyway, this is the Afritude movement, where we bring everything that is done in the dark to light. Peace out.